Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Time for the Monday morning live stream. I ran a little bit late today because I had some things going on this morning. Gotta love the snow. Still keeping everything behind where I live. You can see all the stuff that I've got here. Like, I've got new furniture in my bedroom, so I had to move things in here. But I can't get it out of here because I can't get on the roads hardly. I am so over this snow and this ice. I live in an area that is not at all equipped to handle this. And oh boy, am I ready for it to be done. And my car does comically bad in the snow. I drive a 2023 Ford Explorer. I like this. I love the vehicle actually, but I don't love it in the snow. I mean, I get stuck in just comically small amounts of snow with that thing. Now, I am feeling a bit under the weather. Something started hitting me yesterday. And, last night was rough. I kept getting hot. And then it kept getting cold. Coughing up stuff. So I don't know what I got. Anyway, all that to say, my energy level, we'll see how my energy level does today. As I go through the live stream, I'm doing the best I can. I got caffeine in me, and then I need to pop over to Walgreens to get some Dayquil, I think. Let's see. It looks like some of y'all are ready for the snow. Yeah, black ice. Yeah, we're starting to get some black ice showing up places. So it's no fun. Hey, I'm over the cold. Actually, you know what? Let's see. What's the weather supposed to do where I'm at? I think it's supposed to get warm again. Weather. What is the weather? All right, let's see. No, tomorrow's going to get up to 48. Oh, it's going to be lovely. Oh, it's going to be so nice. Oh, I'm going to have a 65-degree day on Friday. Oh, it's getting up to the 60s. Oh, it's going to be so wonderful. I'm so sick of working out in the gym on the treadmill because I'm running. I'm not lifting. I'm in a running phase, and I don't mind running inside at the gym on the treadmill, but it is not my favorite. It's not my favorite. I don't mind like running 3 or 4 miles at the gym on the treadmill, but past that, I just don't like it. I just don't. It's boring. There's nothing to look at. I run in the woods. I don't run on streets very often. I'll do it when I need to, but like I run in the woods, nature, trees, squirrels, and deer. Let's see. 35 degrees this morning for you. Yeah. I appreciate everybody's patience. I was running a little bit behind this morning, but we're here. Was able to get on sooner than I thought I would, so I'm very, very pleased with that. So we'll wait to do the celebrations until at 10:30. That way, in case some people decided to wait and hop on then, because I really enjoy this. I really enjoy the celebrations. Like it's just I don't know. I really enjoy it for the week. It's become a lot of fun. But I guess I can give a little preamble of the topic I'm going to talk about. A couple of y'all are in here actually that kind of sparked today's topic. One of the things I've noticed is if I have a conversation 3 or 4 times in a week, I'm like, okay, I get the feeling a lot of other people are thinking about this. And it's really interesting how a lot of people are always going through the same things at the same time, which, if you think about it, I guess that kind of makes sense. At any given moment, you have a bunch of people going through the same things. But if you didn't see the topic for today, is grieving the loss of emotional eating. It's a really interesting experience when a person starts that process of grieving and moving on from it. I still remember the very, very, very first time it happened. I knew it from my life, but I didn't know it was going to be a shared experience among many. And it was in the early days of my coaching. I was only doing one-on-one work. That's all I did. And a client, just checking in for the week. And the client told me, he's like, I was having a hard day, and I went and got McDonald's. And I took it to a spot to eat it. And just said, like, and it didn't make me feel better. And I'm still not feeling good. And it's like, no. Yeah, that's how it starts. That's how it started with me. I still remember when I would do emotional eating and it just wouldn't make me feel better anymore. It just made me feel worse. And that was a weird psychological experience to go through. But I've had conversations with people lately, several people actually, and it just happened. Like, it's not like I wasn't asking, but where people were just observing the absence of the food. And I think some of it is because I've changed up how I'm doing my coaching in 2026. And maybe I'll do a session on that where I sort of talk about the evolution of my coaching. Because I don't teach weight loss the same way now that I did when I got into it. I'm always success looping, and I'm always looking for how can I improve the way I teach it? How can I improve the way I help people learn how to do it to get better results? Because just because I know the mechanics of weight loss, it doesn't mean somebody else can do it. And I've realized the true magic is, can I help somebody have the experiences? And one of the things I've realized is I don't have as much to teach as I think I do. I mean, I kind of suspected that for a while, but I've really come to believe it, that like the true teaching that you will experience is not from anything I have to say. It's from the experiences you're going to have in your own life. Your life is going to teach you. And I think my responsibility in this dynamic here is to encourage you to go have the experiences that will transform you. Because I lost my weight and I didn't have a me. I didn't have a teacher. I had to figure it all out. And it wasn't obvious. But the experiences taught me things. And one of the things that I realized is, when you listen to your hunger for a while, like really focus on it, it sort of shines a spotlight on problems. And when you see them again and again and again, you find yourself at an impasse. Well, impasse isn't the right word. You find yourself in a bit of a conundrum. On the one hand, you can keep listening to your hunger, but it makes you feel uncomfortable because you keep bungling it up. And you see it, and you can't hide it. But on the other hand, you could just give up. You could just give up this hunger bullshit and then just go back to dieting. Go back to tracking calories. Go back to managing carbs. And that's the thing I've had to realize is there is a time and a place to do those. There's a time and a place to track your calories, to look at your carbs, to manage your exercise, to regulate the timing of food intake. Like, there is a time and a place to do all that. And it's just interesting when a person finds himself in the situation, what path do they pick? Now, of course, there's also the third option, which is just like, screw it all. Screw it all. I ain't going to lose weight anymore. This is lame. I don't like this. This is no fun. I don't know. What about you? What about y'all? Tell me, what are you thinking about this as I'm talking about? I'd love to hear from anybody here. How many people do we have here? Okay. Yeah. What are you thinking as you hear me talking about this? Do you feel like, do you ever feel like the weight loss forces you to be uncomfortable? I was really uncomfortable at the beginning of my journey because I had to humble myself. I had to realize I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I got to stop acting like because I've lost some weight, somehow that means I know what I'm doing. If that were the case, then why do I keep getting fat again? I would think, right? It's like I've lost weight. I keep losing weight. I clearly know how to lose weight. What I clearly don't know how to do is keep it off. Clearly don't know how to keep it off. Pardon me, I'm taking off my shoes. I hate shoes. I hate wearing shoes. If I'm not running, I don't want to wear them. So, and that's the other thing I don't like about the cold. I gotta wear shoes all the time. I miss wearing my sandals. Or just going barefoot. If it's over 40, I pretty much don't wear shoes. I'm pretty much just in barefoot everywhere. All right. There we go. I guess that's the hippie in me. I think I'm definitely developing a bit of a crunchy granola vibe to certain elements of me, but I'm all right. I'm here for it. Oh, can I tell you a fun little non-scale victory that I like that I can do now? I love that I can just put my leg up on a chair like this. Like, and this is comfortable. Like, this is legitimately, actually, I will work like this. I will put my knee, I'll drive like this. I'll put one knee up, not this leg, the other leg, because that one hits the go pedal. Anyway, let's see. What were some of y'all saying here? Really having trouble learning to sit in the discomfort. I feel like I keep getting overwhelmed with discomfort until I do anything to get relief and fall back in old habits. Yeah, that makes sense. It makes me feel uncomfortable. It's still humbling to this day, and I've been on the journey a long time. Yeah. If I welcome the emotions, I know I can eat anything I want because I will only eat when I'm hungry. That's a lot of freedom running towards it. Yeah. I feel very uncomfortable, but also excited that I'm noticing the change in my mind. Yeah. I've done this, went to the pantry to feel better, realized I wasn't even hungry, had no idea what to do next. I literally paused, reflected, and proceeded. There's the neuro shift. PRP, pause, reflect, proceed. I'm really looking forward. It'll probably be next month, or no, this month. It's February. I'll have NeuroShift launched for you all in the marathon. Because you all in the marathon, I want you all to study NeuroShift. We got to get your mind right. We got to get you teaching. We got to teach you the skills. Help you level things up in your life and level up your food. How are we on time? All right, we still got a little time before we do wins. I wanted to wait till 10:30. 10:30 Central Standard Time. But yeah, it's just interesting with the emotional eating as you move beyond it. I noticed I had a lot more time. As I started eating only when I was hungry, I began to truly realize just how much I ate, how much time and energy was devoted to food, thinking about food, procuring food, watching TV shows about food. Like, I was food obsessed. And when I stopped doing that, it's pretty cool to see like all the things I was able to do at that time. But you see, it wasn't just that. Because remember, it's not just food. I spent a lot of time doing activities that involved sitting. And I had to let go of those. But it was slow. It was slow and gradual letting go of those. But one of the things I'm really I keep coming back to one answer that is the answer. And it's not the fun answer. It's not the sexy answer. It's not the exciting answer. It's not a one-trick hack that fixes everything in one fell swoop. I mean, sometimes it does. But I just keep coming back to one answer again and again and again and again and again for 7 years. On my own journey, I kept coming back to this answer. The way you deal with your feelings is you feel them. You talk about them. You express them. You show them to somebody that cares about you. And I used to think like therapy is the way to do it. Don't get me wrong. I got a great therapist. Really like my therapist. I've had a lot of good healing with my therapy over the years, off and on. But right now I'm real pleased with my therapist. But I've realized the only reason I'm pleased with my therapist, it's not because of my therapist. She's great. My therapist is great. I really enjoyed my sessions, but I truly believe the reason why they work is because I'm willing to go in there and be honest with myself and feel my feelings. I hear and talk to people all the time. They'll go to therapy and they talk about how they kind of clam up and they don't want to open up. I'm like, why are you spending all this money? Now, maybe some of it is I pay out of pocket. Like I pay $165 every time I go see my therapist. I'm going to get my fucking money's worth. I'm not going to go there and not talk. I'm not going to go there and not open up. I genuinely think getting free and cheap therapy is not good. And I'll tell you why. So I've done I always am doing pro bono work. Ever since I got started. I don't talk about it. I don't publicize it. I keep it. No one knows. I've always had one or two people I'm working with pro bono. And they get everything. I hold nothing back. Some of them don't even know I'm doing it. But I've always done it. And here's the thing I've learned. I have to be real careful who I pick. Because if it's free, People don't take it serious. If it's cheap, they don't take it serious. I think people that can go to therapy, they only pay $20 for therapy. I think a lot of times they're not getting their money's worth because why? It's $20, right? I'll go there and half-ass it. It's like, when I'm paying $165, I ain't gonna go there and half-ass it, right? No, I don't go every week because it's $165. I'm not gonna spend that much money. So I'm like, when I'm here, I gotta get my money's worth. I'm not gonna see this therapist for 2 or 3 weeks, right? I need to get some stuff out. We need to talk about some stuff. I need her to challenge me. But one of the things I've realized that's so important to therapy is to find the emotions that I'm not processing. I don't want to go there and feel the feelings I'm feeling at home. I'm already feeling them, right? I don't need help with those. I need help finding the feelings that I'm not letting myself feel. I need to find the thoughts I'm not letting myself think so that I can process them and work through them. I'm just going to mention it and then move off of it. As many know, I got divorced, and anybody who's gone through a divorce knows it's a difficult experience emotionally. And there's been a couple times where I just needed my therapist to like, I'm talking and like mid-session, I'm like, oh, I know what I'm running from. I know what I'm not letting myself feel, and then it all comes out. All the thoughts come out. Journaling helps so much. But I've realized it's like the burden to heal rests on me. It's my responsibility. No one can do the work for me. No one can help me. They can encourage me. They can point the direction. They can ask me questions. They can advise me. But no one can do the lifting. They can't help me crack open my brain and tease out a feeling. They can just point. What about that over there? Well, what about that over there? Why aren't you looking under that rock? That's all they can do. But I got to walk over there and lift up the rock and look underneath it. And some of you saw my long ass sharecast that I did this a few days ago. That was not planned. I was not planned to do that long ass sharecast. Here, you know what? If y'all want to know my sharecast, this isn't just a guild thing. Like, anybody's welcome to. I'm going to post my sharecast link here in the chat. Let me get this. If you're ever just kind of want to keep up with what things that are going on or whatnot, this is a good place to do it. All right, let me paste that there. All right, there you go. But I did like a 42-minute sharecast the other day. Was not planned. That is too long of a sharecast. That should not be a regular thing. That was a damn podcast. But I've really been, just so as I said earlier, the trick with emotional eating is you need to feel your feelings. But what do you do with them? And what if you're feeling feelings that aren't based in truth? They're not based in reality. I've also come to realize, like, many times, my emotions are not rooted in truth. The emotions are real. Like, the emotion is real, but the impetus, the genesis, the nucleus of the emotion, the thing that spawned the whole thing, the seed of the feeling, is imaginary. It's fluff. It's air. It's not real. Oh, but the feeling sure as fuck feels real. Ha! The feeling feels real. So real. And so, what do you do with it? Now, I decided years ago to go on the offensive with my emotional eating. I'm like, I'm not sitting around and waiting. I'm not waiting. I'm going after it, targeting it. But how do you do that? How do you target your emotional eating? And hold on. Jot down a note. How do you target emotional eating on the offensive? We are going to come back to that because it's 10:30. And I said we were at 10:30. We were going to do celebrations. And so it is time. It is time to celebrate. It's time. It's time. We'll come back to the topic now that it's 10:30 because I want to do our celebrations. So do me a favor right now. Start typing in the chat while I'm getting the music set up. Start typing in the chat your wins. All right. I want to know your wins. The last 7 days. Only the last 7 days. What's a win? A victory. Something you did for the first time. Anything you did in the name of your goal. A sign of progress. We ain't going to be picky about this. Just anything you want to celebrate and whoop and holler and cheer about. And if you do good, if you really impress me with something, or I think something super awesome, you're going to get an applause. You might get the air horn. I love that air horn. Oh, this is my board, by the way, that I use, that y'all see me doing everything with. All right, let's get to our celebration music. So start putting them in the chat. I'm not looking right now. I got the chat. I got the chat covered, so I can't see it. And I'm gonna look at it here in a second. And let's see, celebration. I want to find a new celebration song. So I'm gonna find another celebration song while y'all are putting your wins in the chat. That way we have them kind of built up. Let's see. Let's find another. I'm really digging these funky vibes, right? So let's look for a funky one. How about this? Oh, that's kind of fun. Oh, I like that. All right, we're going to add that to the celebration folder. All right, add that. Let's find one more. One more. Running through Uptown No Bass. I don't know if I'm going to like that. It's all right. It's all right. Moving Groove, 1 minute version. Ooh, that's got a fun little sound to it. All right, that might make the playlist. Oh, Funky Pulse? What's that one? I feel like I've already got that one on there. I feel like I do. I think I do. Pick up the funk. All right, you getting those wins in the chat? You getting them in the chat? I'm getting ready to come look at them. Oh, yeah. This one's going in the folder. All right, we got our celebration music queued up. Celebration is queued up, ready to go. Let me get my last sip of coffee. That was cold. Gotta love cold coffee. All right. P.S. Joseph, love these things. All right. Let's go over to the celebration folder and let's bring up the celebration comments. No, not that one. We want this one. There we go. Hide comments. All right. Celebration. Let's bring up our music. Let's start celebrating. All right, let's see what we got. We're going to scroll up, find the first ones that I can remember. All right, I'm hoping to find some fun wins to celebrate. Anything. Nothing's too big and nothing is too small. Nothing is too big and nothing is too small. There we go. All right, Susan Hampton lost 8 pounds in January. Nice. Over here winning. And again, I apologize. I feel a little low energy. I am a little sick. I'm doing the best I can. Did a 4-mile hike in 6-degree weather in Alabama. No wrong weather, just wrong gear. That's right. Sarah did grocery shopping in store, getting rid of curbside pickup. I like that. Getting more steps in your life. That's a good, easy way to do it. Went to the gym 3 times in a week the last few weeks. I like that. I like that one a lot because that's showing habit change, doing things different. That's what we want. Abby hopped on the Peloton 2 times this week despite feeling sick. Bravo, Abby. Hit a new decade on the scale. I like a good milestone like that. Oh, wait, we lost our music. There we go. All right. and then also worked out this morning at 5:30 in 15-degree weather, despite feeling like crap. Big win, getting to that new decade. Congratulations. Congratulations on getting to the new decade. Rima took part in the High Rocks. Ooh, I want to do a High Rocks. I've never done one of those. I've been real curious about that, which involved a lot of what I am scared of. Running. Okay. Nice. All right. This morning, got McDonald's for breakfast and ate on the way to work. Ate it slow and stopped when I had enough. I threw the rest out of my car window so I wouldn't eat more. It's fun. I love when we do it though. But get out of here, food. I ain't gonna eat you. I ain't ready for you. I had my fill. I'm getaway temptation. Got my foundation 70K steps in, 75 minutes, 4-day workout while sick. Normally would have just bedrock. That's so good. It's interesting, right? You get in these positions. It's like, I don't feel very good. Can I push? Like, I don't feel like great at all. I'm still going to go to the gym and walk. I'm going to do the best I can. I might make it a half mile and be like, nope, I got nothing left. But a half-ass workout done half the time is still better than 100%ing no workout all the time. 50% of something is indeed better than 100% of nothing. Tomorrow, not eating my second break of work and embracing the feeling of hunger. I change where I sit and what I do on that break. You're a byproduct of your lifestyle, habits, and routines. This is a person changing up their routines and their habits. That's going to get you new results in life. You keep doing that. That's how it's done. Brianna, got a huge assignment completed that I really needed to do, along with keeping my movement habit strong. Excellent. Got to keep those habits going. I need a mini hot plate for my coffee. Maybe I do. All right, completely failed. 2 days in a row, flat on my face. But guess who's back up and getting after it? I know who's getting up and getting back after it. Do you know how you become a winner? You fall down. And then you just get up and keep going. That's how you do it. The falling down's not the problem. The falling down is never the problem. It's the staying down that's the problem. When you fall down, you get back up. Who cares? You can fall down as many times as you want. Just get back up. Fall down, get up. Fall down, get up. Fall down, get up. What do I do after I fall down? Get up. But what if I feel bad about it? Well, feel bad about it while you get up and get fucking going. Don't stay down. Staying down is a surefire way to make sure you don't get what you want. Oh, that was too much energy. Oh, I need a break. All right, I like that one, Bonnie. I love a good get back up story. All right, let's see. Journaled about my 6 spheres of transformation to see where I want to go from here and the person I want to become. Average 13,000 steps in the month of January. That's a big average, Hope. That's a big average. I love it. All right, let's see. What have we got here? All right, Marie. Stuck inside for a week due to ice storm. Did not boredom eat. Was able to maintain my weight for the week. Good job. Not letting that cabin fever get the better of you. Oh, I like that little... That was fun. Went on a road trip and stopped at a gas station. Started looking for snacks, but realized I wasn't hungry. So I didn't get any. What? You aborted. You were gonna do it. And you didn't do it. I like that. Good job, Kathy. Medical City. Medial City. Car broke down over the weekend, but I still busted my ass at the gym before work and then sped walked 30 minutes to work to get my cardio in. Nice. Good job. Jeremiah. Didn't let my failure this week affect my identity. Just got up again. It was a bad day, not a bad month. Was it a bad day or was it just a bad moment? Interesting way to think of it that way, right? 9 pounds down on the month. 9 pounds down? 9 pounds down on the month. I know we're not always about the scale. We want to see the behavior change, but 9 pounds is indeed winning on the weight loss journey. Great job. And I know you're doing the behavior change. I know you are, so I'm not worried about you. Tracked all my eating MyFitnessPal for over a week. Excellent. Scale down this week. No tracking? What are you doing? You're breaking all the rules. You can't be going and losing weight without tracking. That's against the rules, don't you know? You got to track and micromanage every little thing. That's the only way you can lose weight. Can't possibly lose weight. Listen to just your hunger. Excellent. Isn't it easy? Isn't it great when you're like, all right, I lost a couple pounds, but that's easy, right? Was it perfect? No. But like, does it need to be? Is perfection really necessary, or is it just a pointless, fruitless thing to chase to make life more miserable? All right, have increased steps from under 4K daily to 5,000. Oh, wait, where'd my music go? This is my favorite. All right, let's see. Back to where we're at. All right, increase my steps from under 4K to 5,600. Your byproduct of your lifestyle, habits, routines. This is a person changing that. When you start increasing that, that is a signal that your habits and routines and lifestyle are shifting. That's what we're wanting. That's what we're wanting. Copying hope with the average of 13,000 pound steps. I love it. I love it. Scale's been down for a week, all of January. All right, everybody. Thanks for sharing your wins in the chat. I love doing the wins. It's become a really fun. I just love doing it. So, hey, be sure to come back each week if you want to celebrate your wins as we're making our way towards the goals. Wow, I just botched that word. Goals. The goals, the core 4 goals of thin, healthy, happy, and in shape, which is ultimately what we're trying to get you to do, right? I want to help you become thin, healthy, happy, and in shape. I want you to be greedy and get all of them. And don't forget, new podcast episodes come out every Friday. We have a new episode that dropped this past Friday, which I'd love to have you go take a listen to. I talked about hunger this week and 3 things you could do to help you with your hunger. These are good tips. I highly recommend them. And I know many of you right now, you're really taking a hunger-focused approach because you're going with me on the journey of altering how I'm teaching. And so you will find the episode from Friday to be helpful along the journey, something to kind of keep your mind in the right spot, which is what we're hoping to do for you. Now, let's see, get that where I want it. Guild doors are open. So if any of you are not guild members and you would like to join the guild, you can head on over to imnotquitting.com. That's imnotquitting.com. You can learn about the guild and you can go ahead and come on in. We'd love to have you be a part of it, help you get going on your journey and your quest to becoming thin, healthy, happy, and in shape. That is, in fact, the objective of the guild, to help you do that by helping you change your lifestyle, habits, routines, environment, community, and belief systems, because I don't just want you to become thin and gain it all back. I want you to actually become a thin person. I want you to become a healthy person, a happy person, an in shape person. I want you to literally to take on a new identity within yourself, but you're going to have to change your life. And it's best to do that slowly. It's best to do that steadily. It's best not to do that over time or do that like on a short period of time. It's best to do that over a long period of time. But I believe I jotted down a note. We're how to target emotional eating on the offensive. How to target emotional eating. How do you go on the offensive with your emotional eating? So I ended by talking about my Sharecast podcast that was an accident. And if you are unaware about my Sharecast, there's a link to it there. I'd love to have you come listen. If you don't know what it is, just tap it. You'll figure it out. It's pretty obvious. Just start listening. It's one directional. You can leave me little 30-second messages. I do watch them all. I can't respond to all of them, but I watch all of them. Sometimes it takes me a minute to get to them. I get a lot of people reaching out to me through all different mediums, and the way I do it is I'm like, okay, today I'm going to get into this platform. Okay, today I'm going to get into this platform. Okay, today I'm going to get into this platform. Today I'm going to get into this platform. And I just sort of make my way around. So sometimes it does take me a week or two to get back to it just because I'm making my way through the different platforms. But, you know, in that Sharecast podcast, I wasn't real sure what to do. Or I was talking about how I wasn't sure. There are things that I've done to help me lose weight, to help me work on my emotional eating. Wow, I hope y'all can't hear that. I hear leaf blowers or something outside. What in the world is outside? That sounds like a leaf blower, but it's covered in snow. I don't know what that is. Maybe they're blowing the salt away. Anyway, how do you go on the offensive for emotional eating? And I know what I did. So for today, I'm just going to tell you what I did. And I'm just going to be perfectly transparent here that I'm not entirely sure what to do with this for you. So I need to give a little preamble, a little precursor. little introduction, prologue, as it were. I'm going to use a word, and I don't like this word at all. Spiritual. I don't like that word because it muddies the conversation. Wow, that leaf blower is really loud. It muddies the conversation a lot because people, kind of like how Becoming Thin, people bring a judgment to that word. What does it mean? It's really loud. I don't know if y'all can hear that. My mic's got pretty good noise canceling, but like, that is so loud. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Hold on. I want to see. What is that? What are they doing? Nope, that is indeed leaf blowers. That is indeed leaf blowers. I think they're blowing the salt off the sidewalks, which I'm not unhappy about. Cannot hear the leaf blowers or the snow. And that's definitely not snow blowers. That is definitely leaf blowers. This was going to be a serious conversation. That is totally harshing the vibe. All right, I'm sure it'll be done any time now. I'm sure it'll wrap up, right? They can't keep going. It's there right outside my door. It's a little fourplex. There's only 4 units here, four townhouses. Good heavens. Okay, I hear it. They're getting a little quieter. All right. It's also just really loud in my ears. My headphones. So it gets canceled by the time it gets to you, but it doesn't get canceled out of my ears. So for me, it's like it's being amplified. Oh, but that's so much worse if I take them off. All right, so we'll just barrel through them. So in talking about spiritual, I don't mean it in a religious sense. I don't mean it in a mystical sense. I don't mean it in a magical sense. Whatever, you believe what you want to believe. I believe it in a sense of self sense. Who am I? I think of, the mind is a powerful place, and how you use it can really affect you. And most of us aren't taught how to use our minds beyond how to learn to know things. But we're not always taught how to think, but we're also not taught how to perceive. This is where the role of philosophy really comes in handy. It helps you learn how to see things from a unique way, which is really, really important. The leaf blowers are gone. So peaceful now. Okay. So when I went on the offensive for emotional eating, it consisted of me learning how to not be stressed was the initial objective. I don't want to be stressed. But stressful things happen. And so I would hear this say, and don't get me wrong, I still say it sometimes. You made me mad. This happened and it made me sad. And then one day I just started thinking like, well, who's actually in charge of me? Circumstances and situations? Am I the plaything of everything around me? Or am I in charge of me? Am I in charge of my thoughts? Am I in charge of my feelings? And I really sat with that. And I was like, I don't like believing that I'm out of control of myself. I'm not in control of me, but clearly I'm not in control of me. And so I set off on a quest to understand this. And so the part of this I began to realize is the deeper emotional eating work is learning how to reprocess and see the world differently. And in many ways, I feel like, who the fuck am I to talk about this stuff? Like, who am I? I'm just some dude. I figured out how to make it work for me. I figured out how to detach from things. And so what I started doing, it all began with a quest to learn how to be present, to be in the room I'm in and do whatever it is I'm doing. I began to realize that when I'm at work, I would be so worried about what I'd want to do at home, about wanting to be at home, about not wanting to be at work, that I wouldn't be working as good. And then when I'd be at home, I would be wishing and thinking about all the things I didn't get done at work. So when I'm at work, I'd want to be at home. And when I was at home, I'd want to be back at work or worried about work or thinking about work, right? I wasn't at home or I wasn't at work. I wasn't where I was. And I started thinking like, well, why don't I just be where I'm at and do what I do? And that led me realizing that this little stupid device, like a person would text me and I would feel some obligation to respond to them. And it's like, why? Why should I respond because some other person decided they wanted to talk to me in that moment? What if I'm busy doing nothing? Like that's the objective. I want to do nothing. I don't want to be dealing with this. And a person would text me. So I was like, well, what if I just let it go? And then I noticed some people, they get real annoyed when you don't just respond to them. And I was like, oh, how interesting. So you want ownership over my actions. You want to be in control over what I do and when I do it. I don't know if I like that. Then I began to realize I was doing that to other people too. The inverse was true. I would send someone a message and I'm like, why aren't you responding to me? It says you read it. You should respond to me. That's rude. But I sat with that. I was like, well, wait, why is that rude? What if that person was doing something? Why should they have to respond to me? If it's so important, I could send another message. I could also just pick up the phone and call them. You know, we used to do that, right? We used to just talk to people on the phone. I still do. But that's where it began. It began with like, how do I become present? And then so that's step one. The next thing I did, this took time, is I began to notice I would say this phrase, today was a bad day. Today was a good day. And I started realizing I could be having what I would deem a good day. One thing could happen and I would say the phrase, the day is ruined. And for whatever reason, I just sat with that and I was like, that makes no fucking sense. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. I'm having a great morning, a great midday, a great afternoon. Something happens in the evening and the day is ruined. How does this bad thing cancel out all the good stuff? The good stuff still happened. The good moments were still good. So I was like, well, all right. Do I ever have a bad day and be like, oh, this good moment saved the day? And it's like, I do. Not as willing to do that as the other, but I would do that. I could have a horrible morning and a terrible middle of the day and something great could happen. I'm like, oh, this saved the day. This makes me feel so good. And I was like, wait a minute, but the bad shit was still happening. And I started thinking like, well, what is a week? You know, good week, bad week. And I was like, I've never had a full 7-day week where every single moment of the entire week was bad. Never. I've never had that. And I'm going to bet you've not either. Not a single week of your entire life has had every single passing moment actually be bad. No, I don't believe that. I don't believe any of you have ever experienced that. And so I was like, okay, so how many good days do I need to have in a week for it to be a good week? And how many bad days do I need to have for it to be a bad week? And those numbers weren't the same. But then I got to thinking, I was like, well, that doesn't make sense. I don't want to cancel out the good days because I had a bad day. So like, what if I just seek to have a good day, right? No matter what the day brings, I'm just going to have a good day. Okay. Well, what is a day? Well, a day is just a collection of hours, right? We have 24 hours in a day. Sure, some days are that way, but not every moment of every day or a day is usually terrible, awful, because at least at some moment I'm usually sitting in a room doing nothing and nothing is happening. Like right now, this very moment that you and I are in together, is anything bad actually happening? Like right now. Not like is something bad gonna happen. Not like did something in the past happen. I'm talking right now. What if this moment's a pleasant one with nothing happening? It's not good. It's not bad. It's just calm. So it's like, well, every day has those moments. Every day has those moments. Even when everything is terrible. Even when you lose a loved one to death. Even when you get into a car accident. There's always a moment or two. It may only be 1 or 2 moments. It may only literally be a moment. But it's there. It's like, well, a day is just a collection of moments. So what if I stopped stringing them all together? What if I stopped saying I'm having a good day and a bad day, and I just said I'm having a good moment and a bad moment? And I have since 2020, I really need to sit down and figure out when I did this. Since 2022, I believe, I have never uttered the phrase or allowed myself to think it, today was a bad day. I wished it didn't happen. And trust me, I've had some very unpleasant days since 2022. Some incredibly awful, hard days. And I still wouldn't say it was a bad day, because I could always find one single solitary moment that was where nothing bad was happening. But then I took it further. I didn't stop there. I took it further. And I said, what's with this good and bad bullshit? Because I'm old enough now to see there have been too many times in my life where something bad happened. I mean, that I deemed bad. But because it happened, something that I deemed good could then happen. So if a bad moment makes way for a good moment, was the bad moment actually bad? Or was it actually good? And I've also seen good moments lead to bad ones. And I started sitting with that. So, all right, I don't have good days and bad days. I started thinking, like, what if I dropped the judgment of good and bad? And instead I started thinking in terms of pleasant, unpleasant. What if I started dropping the judgment-based words of good and bad that are so broad and to be meaningless? And what if I went with pleasant and unpleasant? These are emotional experiences. All emotions are fine. There is no bad emotion. There is no good emotion. There are just pleasant ones and unpleasant ones. Some emotions are very unpleasant to feel, but that doesn't make them bad. Some emotions are incredibly pleasant to feel. That doesn't make them good. They're experiences. And I got to thinking, what if I stopped thinking in terms of good and bad moments, and I just looked at them as moments? I'm just having a moment. I'm living life in this moment. I don't know what it's going to bring. I don't know what it's going to do. I'm feeling something. That's okay. It's not bad that I feel miserable as fuck. It's not bad. It's not bad that I'm doubled over in crippling depression. I just am. Because what if that crippling depression is actually me healing? Isn't that good? From one perspective, maybe that's the case. And I began to realize a lot of my emotional eating could be traced back to me trying to feel good, to me trying to avoid bad. That I realized I would get stuck working on my emotional eating because I was all bothered by good and bad, right food, wrong food, good behavior, bad behavior. And what if I instead dropped all of that from my vocabulary, even from my own thoughts, and I just moved on from it? Took some time. Wasn't able to do it right away. Still sometimes struggle with it. The brain wants to latch onto judgments. But it was hard. It was hard. And then I took it further. I didn't stop there. I took it further. What makes me feel bad? And somebody said something to me that has changed my life every time I think of it. Expectations are just premeditated discouragements. And I heard somebody else say, expectations are just planned disappointments. I heard both of those phrases in close proximity from two different people. And then I started realizing I think my expectations of how things should or should not be are making me miserable. But why? Why does an expectation of how something should or shouldn't be make me miserable? I want to look forward. This is going to be a good moment. I'm going to set an expectation. I'm going to have this experience. But have you noticed that in life, things don't usually go according to your little fancy plans and what you think should happen? Gosh, it seems like that doesn't happen a lot. It seems like things go off plan a lot. And I started realizing that a lot of my favorite moments in life, I didn't know they were coming. I didn't expect them. I didn't plan for them. They just merely arrived. They just arrived. And it began, the stark realization to that began when I did a journaling exercise where at the end of the year, I pulled on my journal and I wrote down every moment from the previous year that I was grateful that it happened. And I did it. I just wrote them all, just a paragraph for each moment. It was pages and pages of them. Just a paragraph, just enough to jog my memory. And then I had this idea and I went back through it and I noted which ones I knew were coming and which ones at the beginning of the year I did not know were coming. And the majority of them I did not know were coming. My most favorite, prized, pleasant, wonderful moments of a year, I didn't know were coming. They were unplanned. They just happened. I was like, okay, so clearly expecting something is not a requirement for it to become a blissful, joyful, wonderful experience. But I didn't stop there. I took it further. I didn't stop there. I took it further. Why was this so hard for me to do this? Because I cognitively understood it, but emotionally I couldn't do it. And then a word. Impermanence. Impermanence. I kept thinking about that word, impermanence. Nothing is permanent in your life. Everything in your life is going to end one day, including your own consciousness. Your own life will end. And I began to learn about attachments to outcomes. I would want something to happen, which at first, I've now learned is not a problem, but it's the attachment to the outcome. If it doesn't happen the way I want it and I'm feeling a way about it, I had an attachment. Like I'd get on the scale, I'd want it to go down, it'd go up 2 pounds and I would feel bad. I had an attachment to an outcome. I would hope somebody would call me. They wouldn't, and I'd feel sad. I'd feel rejected. I had an attachment to an outcome. And I began to realize so much of my life, I had formed attachments to outcomes. And not only that, a lot of the people in my life were actively encouraging me to do it. But these were miserable fucks. I've discovered most people are suffering. They're regularly dealing with pain, just like me. And I didn't want to feel it anymore. And so I was like, well, how do I let go of all these attachments? And it brought me back to the very beginning, the present moment, living in the here and the now, letting go of things, of outcomes. Emotional eating is a seeking to regain control. But if I don't have a lot of attachments, if I don't have a lot of desires for how something plays out, what do I need to control? If I have no expectations, nothing's going off plan. Everything's happening exactly as it should. But what if I had an expectation that I'm going to have a good day and be happy today, and then I don't? Did I have an attachment to that outcome? What if I actually have a very unpleasant day and bad things happen that are very uncomfortable? Can I be okay in that? And I didn't stop here. I went deeper. I kept going. And then I learned of a word. I had heard this word before, but long ago forgotten it. And it just kept showing up in my life. I don't know why. I don't really care why. It doesn't really matter. But for a few months, it just kept popping up in books I was reading, even in TV shows and movies. Equanimity. Let me look up the definition, to get you the technical definition of the word equanimity. Equanimity. Equanimity is the mental state of maintaining calm, balance, and composure even in the face of conflict, stress, or intense emotions. It involves observing experiences without immediate reactive judgment, acting as a ground for wisdom and a protector of compassion. It promotes emotional stability, reduced reactivity, and faster return to baseline during challenging times. Essentially, it's the ability to feel at peace no matter what happens, to be calm. And that has been the journey I have been on now for several years. That helps me to not emotionally eat. How do I live and embody the idea of equanimity? How do I learn to be okay with not being okay? And when you decide you want to learn how to live in equanimity, you have to have a reason to be upset and then not. You have to have a reason to get worked up and then not. Ain't that a bitch? It's like the old adage, if you pray for the Lord to be taught more patience, the Lord's going to send you a reason to be impatient. And you got to choose to be patient. It's like the sick joke. I want to work on not getting mad. All right, here's a reason to be mad. Don't do it. I want to learn how to be patient with somebody. All right, let's send you a really insufferable human being. Be patient. Oh, gosh. I don't know how to do it. So how do you learn to be calm in the face of a storm? You got to wait for a fucking storm, and then you got to be calm. And I'm like learning this. I'm like, this sucks. This is hard. You had to learn how to realize your attitude is different than your experience. Attitude is, in fact, a choice. It is, in fact, a choice, even though you don't want it to be a choice. Even though deep down in your bones, you're like, no, it's not a choice. Even my therapist says it's not a choice. It is a choice. It is. You might not know how to make it in the moment, but that doesn't change the fact it's a choice. It's a choice. But sometimes to make a choice, you have to first become aware of the choice. And then number 2, you have to become aware of the options of the choice. And then number 3, you have to learn how to make the choice. And then number 4, you need a reason to make the choice. And to make a choice, that means there needs to be options. So many people are like, yeah, I'm doing equanimity when I'm sitting at home and my family's around the dining room table and I'm just being present, watching them eating, and I'm basking in the joy of my family. I'm like, I'm glad you're doing that, but that is not strengthening you much more. Like that's kindergarten. That's kindergarten presence. How about your kid broke their leg and they're scared and you're scared and you don't know how you're going to pay for it and you don't know if the kid's going to be permanently mangled? How about right then? Can you do it then? That's when you got to do it. Like equanimity isn't, well, I got to find the other tenses of how to say equanimity. How do I maintain equanimity when life is difficult? How do I maintain equanimity when I just lost my job? How do you maintain equanimity when you just lost your marriage? Ooh, life loves to come and test your resolve when you make a decision to do something like this. But it is through the experience of doing it that I discovered it started to change me. I've been on this journey now to find myself here for years. It started on my weight loss. It was on my weight loss walking in a park. I still remember the moment when I thought of the present moment. I'm like, I think I need to do this. I think there's something here. I was listening to something from Sadhguru, and it was like hitting me. I'm like, the present moment is a gift. A life is a precious thing. I was like, I think I live too much in the future and in the past. I don't live in the present moment unless the present moment is insanely pleasant, and then I want to live in it. But if the present moment is not insanely pleasant, and that I'm going to cast my mind into the future to something to look forward to pull me through this miserable ass moment. That's not peace. That's escaping the present moment. Or I would go back to the past to try to figure out what was wrong or go relive some old memory. Or I would override everything with a drug like food or TV shows or movies or video games or sex or talking to people. Like, well, that's not doing it either. Those are fine. But you can't always change the circumstances of a present moment. Sometimes the circumstances are just miserable. Like when you run a marathon and you hit the wall, it's just miserable. You can't make it go away. It's just miserable. It's just miserable. The only way to get through it is to get through it and just be miserable. It's the only way to do it. And life is like that. And so I don't know what to do with this. Because I believe that everything I just described to you is why I haven't gained my weight back. It's why I haven't gone back to emotional eating. It's why I haven't gone back to so many vices. But it's like, I don't know what to do with it. Because this isn't like a religion thing. This isn't like a science thing. This is a mind thing. If anything, it's borderline philosophy. But it's just learning how to think different. But as I started doing all these things, I started feeling better. I started feeling more at peace with myself, at peace with life. Even when bad things were happening. Even when I'm not okay, I'm okay. People don't believe me. People don't believe me. They're like, yeah, Chris, I know, but you're really not okay. I'm like, no, I really am okay. I mean, I'm not okay. I'm super miserable. I'm super uncomfortable. I'm not happy. I'm sad. I'm mad. I'm angry. I'm hurt. I'm whatever. But I'm okay. I'm not mad that I'm sad. I'm not upset that I'm sad. I'm not even necessarily wishing to not be sad. Sometimes I'm like, just let me be sad, even for a little while. I just need a chance. But people, what do? They see a person said, oh, well, let me help you not be sad. It's like, why? Why not just let me be sad? Why do I need to be happy? It's just happiness is just another feeling, just like sad. Happy isn't better than sad. Happy feels better than sad, way better. But sadness leads to healing a lot of times, which feels really good. So the sadness is good because it leads to something good. So it's not really anything. It's just a phase. And so, yeah, I guess that's how I deal with my emotional eating, is this stuff. I learned to see myself and the world and my own mind and heart different. I learned to take a situation that stressed me out and realize I can't make it go away, but I can change how I process it. I can change how I experience it. I can change the meaning I give it. I have control over those things. So what if I instead started focusing on what I control and released what I can't? So for me, this has led down interesting pathways to learn how to do this stuff. So what am I going to do with it? No idea. No idea. But it's a thing I think about often. Because I want all of you to be able to move past your emotional eating tendencies. And to do it forever. To win this battle forever, you have to change yourself on the inside. You have to change how you see the world. You have to change your automatic thoughts. You have to change your values of what is good and bad to something more empowering and freeing. And then you got to wait for life to test it. And then you got to see, where have you grown? Where you still got some work to do? And then you go back and you do where you got to do the work. And then when you regress, you give yourself all the grace in the world when you regress. So just something to think about. Hey, thanks for coming with me to the on our weekly live stream. Always enjoy having you here. I hope some of the topics we talked about today were helpful in some way, maybe giving you a moment to pause and think about seeing things in a different way. That's what I hope would happen. You know, just know that there's no one exact way to live. All emotions are good. They all deserve to be expressed. They're not all pleasant, but that's okay. Life's a precious thing. Forget regret. Or life's yours to miss. From Rent. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you next week.